So long as like Alchemy.
Utah rolling into Oracle after being blown out in Denver the night before. Mind you, they don't have any Rudy Gobert. They don't have any Dante Exum, right? They're riddled by injury, but they play very hard. Quinn Snyder, top 5 coach. There is the man, the rookie, Donovan Mitchell from 3. But he would be put on locks. The Warriors were concentrating on him. KD was kind of passive. Only 10 shots, but made every single one of them count. 7 of 10 from the field. And look at this move from Draymond. Maybe the best off-the-dribble move I've ever seen from Day, finishing on the left side, very Harden-like. Utah forced 16 turnovers, the majority of them coming in the first half of play, which they led all the way up until the final seconds of the half. Draymond, the 3-ball is starting to drop. Peep the little rhythm steps here. Now, I'm never saying he's not going to be a knockdown guy, but he needs to hit it enough to space the floor. Golden State sneaks into the third quarter with the lead, and then they just donkey punch Utah to the back of the head. KD, another rhythm 3, but it was really about this end of the court. You're seeing the Bash Bros, KD, Durant, and Bell blocking shots. KD's starting to put style points on these as the Defensive Player of the Year whispers continue to grow, and Utah really missed Rudy Gobert in this third quarter. No rim protection. It was dunk after dunk at the rim. Donovan Mitchell eventually got his stats, but most of them came in garbage time. Here's the outlet to Bell, who did not start, but how about 13 rebounds and 7 assists? Y'all better be worried because Steph had himself a whole nother training camp. He gonna come back fresh. Patrick McCaw was the story on the night, 18 points, and he's making a statement like, I want more minutes, Steve Kerr. Klay Thompson, why are you in the game at this point? It's to hit one of these. All-Star games coming. These guys want their stats. Warriors big over Utah. One of the better games of the season, like in my eyes, like coming into it, it's like you can never tell on paper. You're like, all right, Utah on a Wednesday night, minus Rudy Gobert, but it ended up being a very entertaining game, and there was a lot of little mini storylines throughout the game. I think the biggest takeaway for me is you've got the bench guys competing for minutes now, and that includes the veterans. And this is not by accident. Kerr has created this, where you look at Patrick McCaw, his 18 points and just so much more aggressive. There was a play out in transition where he didn't even think about it. He just accelerated and went all the way, drew the foul. They say he's the fastest end-to-end player on the court with the ball. He needs to show that and take advantage of it. And Livingston got the start, and you could tell Livingston was extra aggressive, right? And I think, pride is taking place here, as well as like, hey, man, I want to be a part of this too. This is a historical team, and I don't want to lose my spot. So you saw Livingston extra aggressive, McCaw aggressive, right? And then there's the storyline of JaVale McGee, the trade rumors swirling. He got in the game the final 3 minutes. The dude shot a 3. He shot like a fadeaway. He had a Euro step. And I thought it was very telling that the bench wasn't really celebrating. And I'll tell you why. It's not because they don't like JaVale. It's because they knew how serious he was. He was almost trying to prove his worth and show like, hey, man, I deserve to play. Now, Zaza returned and got the start, and he got absolutely ate up on the pick and roll with Derek Favors. Derek Favors had 3 dunks in half-court sets in the first half alone. And you've got to give him the benefit of the doubt. His timing is going to be off, but he's never going to get fleet of foot, right? That's always going to be an underlining problem when he gets put out in a pick and roll. He can't show on the guard and recover. And he absolutely can't switch. And I almost felt like Kerr was low-key leaving him out there like Caesar, like you can't play in a lot of these games. We'll see how that develops, but I love the fact that McCaw and Bell are pushing the veterans to have to compete for minutes. That was absolutely great. I mentioned Steph Curry. This dude's been fine. This dude is having, and that's when he went down, I mentioned the silver lining in this injury. He's basically had a whole nother training camp. They said he could have played 10 days ago. So he's not only fully healed, but now he's getting in full shape, right? He's going to get in basketball shape and let all the nicks and other things that were lingering heal. This was like a nice rest in the middle of the season, and I expect him to come out in chef mode some point next week. We do face Houston twice in January. What else happened? Jordan Bell. So Za got the start, but Bell finished the game, right? He was in there when we made the huge run, 42-point third quarter. He had 13 rebounds and 7 assists. One thing I noticed about Bell, though, is he's not long. Pause. right? But he doesn't have great length, but he makes up for it with athleticism and quickness. And I think that that's in part sometimes why he has trouble closing out, or he always chooses to jump, because he doesn't have, you look at KD and even Looney, they're long arms. That's why do you think wingspan is such an important attribute at the draft combine? Because it's a huge aspect of basketball. And he doesn't have that advantage of wingspan, but he more than makes up for it in his energy. And it's just going to be hard to keep him off the floor, man. He just makes things exciting every night of the week. Who do we have the rest of this week? I think it's Memphis rolling in again. You know, that's going to be a bang-em game. I wouldn't bring Steph back in that one. It's just too physical. That's just my honest opinion. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.